without fueling. But of course, we don't take chances. So well before the fuel drops to about 50%, you start fueling, which would come to about the 4th or 5th day if you are in combat and doing higher than economical speeds. But otherwise, you can sustain even for 7 days at economical speed before you require refueling with sufficient reserve oil. More important, these aircraft carriers with the range between 40 to 45,000 tons capacity displacement generally carry up to 30 aircraft, which include a mix of 12 to 14 fighters of the MiG-29K variety, and hopefully in the very near future we will have modern fighter aircraft like the F-18 or the Rafale, depends on what finally proves itself capable for us and meets our QRs. And anti-submarine warfare, in fact now with the MH-60R helicopters coming in from the United States, 2 of them have already which will be multi-role helicopters based on aircraft carrier and on frigates and destroyers, which have been far deficient for far too long of integral helicopters, which will be able to carry missiles, which will be able to carry EW systems and torpedoes and depth charges and sonar for even detecting submarines. And we also have airborne early warning helicopters. In time to come, as we graduate to the 4th or the 5th generation aircraft carrier, whenever we are able to make it, we will obviously have fixed wing AEW aircraft or mini AWACS of the variety, which is as capable as large fixed wing AWACS aircraft owned by any air force, any modern air force. Which, an example of which is the Hawkeye E-2D. By the way, we were offered that aircraft for the Vikrant in the year 2008, but the total space available on deck for operating that aircraft, particularly for landing on board between the island superstructure and the wingtip, was a little too less. In the next aircraft carrier, we would perhaps factor that part as well. So there is no doubt at all with these kinds of mix of aircraft on board and SAM systems on board, which are very, very reckonable and important. The aircraft carrier is capable of doing power projection from the sea and at sea. And as an example, I told you what the Pakistan Navy chief had to say for even the Virat, which had only sea areas which could go 170 nautical miles at low, almost equal to tree top. 170 included the range of the missile that it carried. And today's aircraft, like the MiG-29K and the future aircraft that we are looking at, would be much more capable. So the relevance of an aircraft carrier, insofar as our situation is concerned, with facing for the first time a hostile monstrosity called China, which is making forays after forays into the Indian, is beyond doubt an essential and not a desirable. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. House is open to questions. Yeah, please. Mic and all.
Sir, mine is question a bit from CI angle, which may be different from the staff itself. But as Carlos has said, there are thousands of laborers and technocrats during our Atmanirbharta operations and other events manufacturing inside the country itself. How we take care of our
CI aspects, because of to take care of the technology skilling or aspiring aspect of such things. How we take care of that during that manufacturing, that construction and all the things, because thousands of laborers and technocrats from all walks of life maybe hired from the civil society or from your own or from our defense organizations? How will you take care of that? Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? This is a very relevant question. And since I was CNC South when the Panchi construction trials were happening, this was a very legitimate concern. You might have read in the papers also, there were a couple of incidents where a couple of workers who had links to Afghanistan, not Pakistan, were arrested, and there was some suspicion. There was also a theft of some software from the ship, which happened once. And there was a drone threat that was put in by Pakistan, which we have to counter against. Now, the fact is, this is not very difficult at all, because in today's Aadhaar-enabled world, and with sufficient background checks and stringent checks at the entry to the shipyard and further checks at the entry to the ship, with 100% of the ship being covered with video cameras, with number of undercover people already as part of the security team deployed on the ship constantly, with the ship's crew partly being there. There were multiple safeguards, but then indeed, being a very big ship, some small things do happen. In fact, the theft of the software was finally solved. It was basically a petty theft by somebody who wanted to make a quick buck. The guards related to the machinery control systems, there were 4 of them that were stolen. Because they are spread out across the ship, they were recovered. They were not classified in any case. It was just a machinery control system. There was nothing much more that could happen. We had to deploy anti-drone systems to protect the ship in the final stages. Unfortunately, there were a lot of hobbyists flying their drones along the Cochin Channel, which had to be restricted. So yes, this is a live threat. There was underwater devices deployed around the ship. But again, it led to a lot of indigenization. In all this entire sort of defense, including for the underwater defense, we found that suddenly within the space of a year and a half, there were many indigenous developments that happened, along with some imported equipment that we have to use, and new security procedures were developed. So this is a live threat, but not one that is impossible to handle. In fact, it can be easily handled, particularly in the internet.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Can you hear me? I don't have any question, and fortunate to have had such eminent panel to expose us to this subject. I just have something to supplement what you said. We've had this debate of aircraft carrier for years, for nearly a decade, if not more. Now, I think for the discerning people, the debate is not between aircraft carrier and submarines. It's not about sea denial, sea control. And even it's not about the expenditure involved. Admiral Chawla mentioned about 20,000 crores over 10-12 years, 2,000 crores or 2,000 crores less than that per year is no big deal for a country like ours. Now, the question is the navies, the way Navy is going about projecting or convincing everyone about the need. I think it's not Navy's aircraft carrier, it's a nation's aircraft carrier. And what I may suggest, and particularly why I say that in this kind of an audience, a North Indian army predominant, if I may use the word sea blind audience like us. Now, if there were two things. Number one, some of the slides that Admiral Anup showed, where some of the similar slides are shown as a counter to the Navy's logic of having aircraft carriers, that we have unsinkable aircraft carriers, our island territories, etc. etc. Now you amply gave out the good reasons for having it, but if Navy was to project the range, the radius of action of seaborne, of land-based aircraft, then this is where we can have air cover. We can't go beyond that, and these are the things we can't do without an aircraft carrier. Maybe from Andamans we can go to Malacca Straits. Now, once people understand that this is the limit, then for our political leadership, for our decision makers, will be a very clear idea that listen, if you want to have your geopolitical ambitions going into South China Sea, going into Western Pacific, or going towards the Gulf, well, in that case, we need aircraft carrier. If we don't want it beyond that, let's not have it, if you can't afford it. So I think it's a national capability, it's a national asset, and our populace, each one of us, citizens sitting around, and our leadership needs to understand that this is the rationale and this is related to the nation's geopolitical ambitions. That's what I just wanted to supplement to the excellent rationale that you gave. Thank you.
Thank you, General Officer. Any other question?